Good morning. So I have kind of been away for about a week, and sorry, my dog's underneath my kitchen table, and he just scooted me back. Anyway, I've been gone for about a week because crazy stuff has been happening. So I'm going to update you on that real quick, and then we're going to talk about measuring blood ketones. I've got about half an hour to do this, and then I got to leave for a physical therapy appointment, so this won't be too long. Anyway, okay, so the reason I haven't been blogging or videoing or anything really in the last week, besides maybe a few Instagram posts here and there, is because things with my knee took a really funky, weird turn. I think I had told you guys that I had a surgery date, and it was supposed to be for yesterday. Clearly, I have not had surgery. I mean, I know you can't see my knee, but trust me when I tell you that I would be much more doped up than this. So I did not have surgery. They ended up postponing my surgery. So last week I went in for my pre-op appointment with my orthopedist, and he looked at my knee, and even though my knee looks exactly the same as it did the last time I saw him, and I can and can't do the same exact amount of things and bending and strength things as I could the last time I saw him, he didn't like that my knee didn't look perfectly straight, which he knows I can't do without the kneecap dislocating. So anyway, he decided to put me in a dropout cast. So I was like, what's a dropout cast? And so they had me come back, and basically what it is, or at least what they did with me, is they put you on a table, and then they have you scoot down to the end of it, and there's like another table or a counter further out, and they have you prop your leg up on this other counter or table that's like at a higher level so that there's empty space underneath your knee. And then they take two people and they force your knee down. not to the point where it's just straight, which would have been painful but bearable, but actually to the point where it's like negative a few degrees. So they forcefully pushed my knee down like to a -2 degrees. So it's like bowed a little bit. And then they put a cast on it, like a real cast, so that it couldn't even just go completely straight, and it couldn't bend at all. And then they cut out like the front of it, so my shin was exposed, and they wrapped it in an ace bandage, and I had to leave it that way for 2 days. And let me tell you, those casts, aside from being painful because of the position they put my knee in and the trauma they put it through to get it there, are incredibly uncomfortable. They're incredibly heavy. So you can't really walk because, and they warned me that this would happen, but when you walk in them, you can almost like feel them slipping down a little bit. And it's not because they didn't do a good job with the cast. It's just the nature of those types of casts. They can slip just because of gravity. So that puts pressure on your kneecap, which if you're like me and you don't have a stable kneecap, is awful. So that I basically, other than to get up to go to the bathroom, I didn't move for 2 days. I sat in the same spot on the couch. I slept in the same spot on the couch. I had to have my mom over here to feed me and just help me with life because I couldn't do anything. I was completely helpless and in a lot of pain. So then 2 days later, they took the cast off. And I will say this, as much as I hated it, and my dad took this horrible video because he took me, my husband was working, he couldn't take me, so my dad took me to the appointment. And he took this horrible video while they were like straightening my knee out. And I was like, if I'm in a lot of pain, I don't know, I guess I'm weird. I don't scream, I don't cry, I laugh hysterically. Like that's how you know I'm really hurt. And I mean, I am just like laughing, tears coming out of my face, laughing so hard in this video and just saying awful things. That's how you took a video of it. Anyway, so they took the cast off, but then what they did is they converted the cast to kind of like a clamshell. So it's got like a hinge and it closes, and then they gave it back to me because, I wanted it. And now I have to sleep in it every day to help keep my legs straight and help get that like level of extension. So, I mean, I do think it helped, as awful as it was, but it's been a rough like past week because of getting the cast on, getting the cast off, having to adjust to it. Cause after they get the cast off, even though it was only 2 days, your leg feels really weird. So now it feels like it kind of wants to go backwards on me when I put weight on it. So Oh, Lord. They're supposed to. I'm sorry, I've got allergies and my nose itches. Anyway, they're supposed to reschedule the surgery like another 4 to 6 weeks out from now. So hopefully this one goes through because I don't know how much more crazy I can take people. I just don't know. Anyway, all of that to say that's why I haven't been around. But it is kind of a non-scale victory for me a little bit because here's the thing, like all of that is really painful and uncomfortable and stressful to go through that because it's not just the physical side. Like it was like kind of logistics, like life logistics too. Like, okay, I can't drive. I can't do anything for myself. So who's going to take care of me? Who's going to take my daughter to school? Who's going to pick her up from school? Because I was still able to do those things since I could, bend my knee enough to get in a car and drive. Who's going to feed her and take care of her? I mean, my husband's home for some of that, but he runs a business. So he's in and out. And when he's got to go, he's got to go. So hugely stressful stuff, trying to figure out how all this was going to work out while I was laid up. And in normal times under stress, I turned food. That's what I do. That's why I regained a lot of the weight after my initial weight loss with keto a year ago, because I got really stressed out and sad and just kind of fell off the wagon. I know that this is a tendency for me. I'm an emotional eater. I'm a stress eater. So I was really worried. The other thing with it too is, all it takes really, at least for me, is 2 days off to be like, well, now I want carbs and now I'm just going to eat whatever I want. So that's kind of rough. I was really worried about those 2 days, and I'm a people pleaser. I think we've talked about this before. So even though like my mom came over and was taking care of me and helping me, like that part of me, I don't want to inconvenience anybody. I don't want to make things difficult. If something seems hard for somebody else, like I'll just say screw it and do whatever's easier for them. And my mom's not keto. She's not low carb. I mean, she knows I do this and she knows a little bit about it. But if I have to give somebody detailed instructions on how to fix my lunch, I'm more apt to just be like, what, just make me whatever you want. I don't care. That's my default. So it was a big deal for me to be like, I know you're here taking care of me and I appreciate it, but I need certain things. Can you do it this way? I'll write it down for you, which I did. And I was proud of myself because I didn't let the stress and the inclination to people please derail me. I stayed keto. So that's a pretty good non-scale victory, I thought. I was proud of that. And I've been rewarded with that because, over the last, week while I've been dealing with this, I haven't gone off track. There have been days I've eaten more than I probably should have for various reasons, like family functions and stuff. But it was all keto friendly. It wasn't like I was going out and eating pizza. Well, I did have pizza, but I just pulled the toppings off. And anyway, I've eaten more than I should have. I've not had every meal be as clean as I would like, as far as like, whole foods, non-processed stuff. But it's all been within the realm of keto, under my 20 grams of carbs. So I'll consider that a victory. So I didn't gain a bunch of weight. And actually today I was rewarded with a new low on the scale. I am within a hair of hitting that 180 mark, at which I'll do a giveaway. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, okay, next. So a while back, I had found out that this new company was doing blood ketone meters. For those of you who don't know, a blood ketone meter is, it's like a little device that, you prick one of your fingers with, and then it takes a reading of your blood and measures the presence and the amount of ketones present in your blood. And it's a good way to know if you're in ketosis, if maybe you're having some carb creep and you're kind of only doing trace amounts, you're really not in it. You thought you were, or whatever the case is. You don't have to do it. You don't need a blood meter to do keto. You don't need to measure at all to do keto. But I think they're nice to have, and I like data and I like information and input. And so for me, it was just something I wanted to try. And I had held off doing it because a lot of the blood ketone meters are really expensive. Well, not the meter itself, but the refills for the testing strips are super expensive. Like they can be almost $3 a strip. So you have to think every time you prick your finger and do a test, that was $3 for you to do that test. So I never did it. I was like, I'm not paying for that. That's crazy talk. But then this new company came out that was making them, and the strips were supposed to be like 99 cents a pop, which is a lot lower than normal. So I went ahead and ordered one. And I guess a lot of people have been interested because they were back ordered. So I just got my kit. It's the Keto Mojo kit. It comes in this little case. And inside, hold on. Zoe, go lay down. It's my dog, one of them. Anyway, comes with this little meter. This is the actual meter. I'm trying to get rid of the glare. And we'll turn that on in a minute. And then on this side, you have the little testing thing. You put the lancet in here, and that's what you prick your finger with. These are the test strips, which I'll get out in a minute. And these are the lancets, okay? So I'm going to do a test here. And I'm not testing every day, even though these are more affordable. I mean, for one thing, I don't really want to. I don't like pricking my finger. I'll admit it's not as bad as I thought it would be, but still not fun. And I hate needles. So it's not something I'm going to do all the time. But I think you guys have heard me mention before that I have a little bit of an obsession with Starbucks sous vide egg bites, like their bacon and Gruyere egg bites. Now, I know one order has 9 grams of carbs. So I know it's not the cleanest thing I could eat. I'm sure there's milk or maybe even flour in there. I don't know. But I love them. And if I stay pretty low carb for the rest of the day, I can make that work. Now, I've continued to lose weight on them, but I would love to see if I have any kind of a reaction to them as far as my blood goes. So I just got back from Starbucks, got my coffee. This one is iced coffee with just a little bit of heavy cream, no sweetener, so none of the classic in it, and the sugar-free cinnamon dolce flavor, which I like because it tastes like fall. Side note, Starbucks, your sugar-free people would love it if you had the seasonal flavors in sugar-free. Get pumpkin, because this is as close as I can get. My dog. Sorry, she like sees a rabbit out there and loses her mind. Anyway, yeah, get seasonal flavor Starbucks because your sugar-free people want them too. I want pumpkin flavor. I want peppermint mocha. And this is as close as I can get to the pumpkin as the sugar-free cinnamon dolce, which is good, but it's not pumpkin. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to do this now. I'm going to see if I can reposition this so you can see what I'm doing. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So this is the meter. I'm going to try to keep this in view. I've got to take the lid off real quick here. You can see it's empty right now. There's nothing in it. Let me get out a lancet. Put that to the side. And then this fits in here. Whoop, sorry, I didn't mean to be off screen. It can be difficult to get this in there. I've kind of had to learn by trial and error on how to fit it in. And then you see there's this blue thing on top. It just twists off. There's, I don't know if you can see it, a little itty bitty tiny needle in there. Okay, this goes back on. You click it into place. You have to kind of make sure that it's loaded. So you see like the little orange thing, that means that it's ready to go. And then all you have to do is press this button. Now, before we do that, we need to have our test strip ready. So I'm gonna get one of these out. They just look like this. The side that looks kind of like a computer chip thing goes in the top here. Okay, and that kind of turns the screen on. And it's gonna think about it for a minute. And it's kind of just getting ready. Okay. So it should be ready to go here. I'm just making sure. Okay. So the little it's got like a drip icon on there is flashing because it wants to go ahead and do that. Now you can adjust how far the needle punctures with, you see these little lines. And, I set it on like the lowest setting at first because I was terrified and I hate needles. Um, and it didn't work at all. Like I pushed it and I was like, ah, and nothing happened. So you do probably want to put it in the middle if you're, like me or whatever. I do try to do it on my non-dominant hand. I'm a righty, so I do it on my left hand on like my pinky because I'll use that the least. Okay. So you just kind of gotta grin and bear it, press the button. Okay, whoop, got a little hair in there. And I'm just kind of trying to squeeze that a little bit. And I don't think it's enough. I'm gonna have to do it again. I didn't get enough blood. It's unfortunate. To do that, you just kind of pull that out, which reloads it. And I'm gonna do it again. That's better. Okay. So it's going. And you probably can't see that screen. It was counting down and it's on 0, trying to get it to show on the screen, and I don't think it will. Okay. So the verdict is in on my beloved egg bites. I'm going to see if I can get this to show up for you guys. Where you want to be on the blood meter readings. Hold on. Let me fix this real quick. That's better. Where you want to be on the blood meter readings for ideal weight loss and ketosis is somewhere between like 1 and 3. And that's ideal. That means like you are humming along, you are burning fat, you are losing weight, and that is the best place. Any amount on this means you've got at least trace amount of ketones. But I think this is valuable even when you don't test all the time, because if you eat something and you're either not totally sure what's in it, or you're not sure how it's affecting your insulin levels and your ketone levels and just, your body's response to that particular food, this is a good way, like eat it and then test and tell. So I know that the last time, sorry, I'm trying to shield it from some of the glare. Can you see that? There we go. The last time I tested, I was right at 1.5, which is great. I was happy with that. Now I'm still in ketosis because I'm getting trace amounts here. I'm at 0.7, but I know I was higher than this last time. So this tells me that probably those egg bites are not in my future anymore. I need to stop eating them because they're not doing me any favors. So I'm a little sad, but I'll live. And in any case, I just wanted to say too, Keto Mojo doesn't endorse me. They don't sponsor me. I don't get anything from them. So this was not me trying to sell you on this meter or anything, but I do like it. It's pretty simple. It's not as bad as I would have thought it would be. So if you are looking to test and you want some information on how you're doing, some feedback on what you're eating and how that's affecting you, I do think this is a good one. It's pretty affordable, and the strips are definitely more affordable than the other brands that are out there. So I would recommend it. Comes in that handy little kit, pretty easy to use, easy to read. Give it a try if that's your thing. And that's all I have time for. I gotta go to physical therapy. So wish me luck. It's been pretty painful recently. Hoping that we're coming to the end of the whole physical therapy knee injury road soon. Also hoping to see maybe this week me get down below that 180 mark, or at least at it, so that we can kind of figure out what we're doing for a giveaway. Yay! So we'll see. In any case, I hope you people have a beautiful, wonderful day, and I'll see you later.